Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, review, look at, make fun of stuff. Today, we have for you CNN. I apologize. If nobody watches this video, I'm with you. Alright, I can only watch these retards for so long, so let's see what this says.
A federal judge says Trump signed legal documents containing evidence he knew to be false. Our justice correspondent Jessica Schneider is working this story for us. Jessica, walk us through what happened here.
Well, significantly, Wolf, this is actually the second time that a federal judge out of California, David Carter, has said that the former president...
Judge out of California. That doesn't mean anything.
...likely committed a crime. Now, this is all related...
Oh, they said that he likely, maybe, might have, possibly? Whoa, breaking news. He maybe, might have, could have.
...to emails from John Eastman. Of course, John Eastman was an attorney who was that architect pushing these baseless claims of election fraud. And what the judge has done here is he has said that 8 new documents from John Eastman must be revealed to the January 6th Select Committee because he's saying that those emails contain evidence of 2 crimes, conspiracy to defraud the United States as well as felony obstruction. And the judge is pointing out that these emails between Eastman and Trump's team, they had pointed out that the numbers of wrong voters, invalid...
They are really going hard at this, aren't they? I will give CNN credit for once. The girl's pretty.
Voters that Trump and his team had pushed to a state court and a federal court were wrong. And the judge is pointing out here that Trump knew those numbers were wrong, yet he signed off on them, putting them into court documents anyway. So the judge is saying this. He says the emails show that President Trump knew that the specific numbers of voter fraud were wrong, but continued to tout those numbers, both in court and to the public. The court finds that these emails are sufficiently related to and in the furtherance of a conspiracy to defraud the United States. And then the judge even said that some of these emails show evidence of felony obstruction. And the judge said this. He said, President Trump filed certain lawsuits not to obtain legal relief, but to disrupt or delay the January 6th congressional proceedings through the courts. The court finds that these documents are sufficiently related to and in furtherance of the obstruction crime. So, Wolf, this is very significant. This is the second time that this judge is saying that the former president likely committed crimes, and that's why he's releasing these emails. Now it's in the hands of these other investigators, whether it's the Fulton County DA or the Justice Department, to decide what to do with this evidence and whether to proceed with criminal action here.
Yeah, so what comes next? Because conspiracy to defraud the United States, as is written in this document, that's a very serious crime.
It is.
How did he want to defraud us? He wanted to, what, keep running the country like no other president has done before. He wanted to keep us out of foreign wars, keep the gas cheap, keep the eggs cheap. What a bastard. Can't believe he wanted to do that.
It is. So it's all up to these investigators, prosecutors, to decide how to take these emails. And the question is, do they even have these emails in their hands? Because we know these emails are being handed over to the January 6th committee. The question is, are they also in the hands of the Justice Department and the Fulton County DA? These emails are further evidence as...
If the emails were evidence of an actual crime, they would only be sent to the DA so they could be used to bring up charges. They're being sent to the January 6th committee because this is smoke you're blowing out your ass.
Evidence by this judge that there was criminal activity afoot. So we'll see what prosecutors do with this evidence.
It's a major development today. We'll watch it closely. Jessica Schneider, thank you very, very much. Let's get some more on all of this. Joining us now, CNN senior legal analyst Ellie Honig, CNN's chief political analyst Gloria Borger, and CNN senior crime and justice reporter Caitlin Polans. Ellie, how much danger could Trump be in as a result of this?
Well, Wolf, any way you look at this, this is really bad news for Donald Trump. Here we have a federal judge making a finding that these emails are evidence that Donald Trump and John Eastman together were part of a likely criminal conspiracy.
It's so funny when you watch CNN because they basically do these big old whole reports. And you're like, wow, that's serious. If you didn't listen to the beginning when they said likely, probably not, but we're going to talk about it for the next 20 minutes, it's just funny. And then you have conversations with people in public. They're like, you didn't see they went on for 20 minutes talking about how he committed all these crimes. And you're like, yeah, but they opened it with likely probably didn't, but could have maybe. It's funny. Oh, it's too funny. Oh.
And if you look at the ruling here, what's really important to me is the judge is very careful. He doesn't just make a blanket ruling. He goes through all of these emails. He finds that actually a lot of them are privileged. But the 8 key emails that Jessica talked about, the judge says show 2 things. One, that Trump's real intent here was not to file lawsuits, but was to delay the January 6th count.
What was the intent of the lawsuits? To delay the count till it's correct. I don't understand what we're arguing.
And 2, that Donald Trump knew that the information he was relying on was false. That in itself is potentially a crime. That's crucial evidence of his intent. The January 6th committee will now have these emails. And if they don't have it yet, then prosecutors may well get them as well.
Good point.
So they're going to prove what he knew? What? How do you do that? They're like, well, see, on this day right here, there was an email sent to him. What if he didn't read it? What if he read it and then forgot he read it? You can't prove what somebody thinks. What is happening?
Gloria, just how important could this evidence be to the January 6th Select Committee?
First of all, let me say Judge Carter is probably their favorite judge in the world, because it was in March when he said that Donald Trump more than likely tried to obstruct Congress. And now we see that he is saying, look, the plan...
So let's go back to that March when Trump was going down for obstructing Congress. What month is it?
Eastman tried to develop was illegal. Trump knew it was illegal, and they pushed forward with it anyway, and so they're going to get the documents that they want. And from my point of view, if they don't do a criminal referral on this president, it may be because Judge Carter actually did it for them today.
He certainly did. These words in this document, which I've read, are very, very...
Is that what that is? So this is the January 6th escape hatch to not come up with any crimes? Because their savior judge out of California is going to push through some charges on their behalf that are going to be dismissed or dropped or not pushed forward because he's our president, idiots.
Strong. Caitlin, Judge Carter did not simply allow all of Eastman's emails to be turned over, but instead he focused on 4 specific emails in particular that he regarded as very significant.
Right, very significant, specifically around this idea that these could be evidence of the furtherance of a crime, specifically trying to block Congress. We know that is something that the Justice Department has been investigating very aggressively. And as Gloria was saying, Judge Carter is doing a lot for the House Select Committee. That's where this particular court case, what that's about. But he's also clearing the way for Justice Department criminal prosecutors to get whatever they may need. Whatever the House gets, the Justice Department is going to be able to get too. And so I was talking to a prosecutor, a former prosecutor, just recently after this ruling came out, saying, what do you call this, these types of documents in court? And the person said to me, this is very compelling. That's what you call it. It's evidence, and it could become very compelling.
But we don't know. The Justice...
Again, it's evidence. It could be compelling. Aren't you a news program? Shouldn't we be talking about compelling stuff? Not stuff that could potentially be compelling if it was actually true. And if you're going to just make up shit, why is it so boring still? What's the deal?
The Justice Department could already have these documents.
Absolutely.
Right? And so they could be already pursuing these documents. I don't know about the Georgia
Maybe the same person
case,
that picked out that
they
green
may have
jacket
this
is
and maybe going
leading
on with
their
it, but of course
creative
the
department.
January 6th committee didn't.
That's funny.
but it does give the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland, potentially a lot more to go ahead and actually charge the former president of the United States with a crime if he wants to.
Well, I think the public pressure may be great.
See that nice long pause after potentially? So when they cut the segment, that doesn't have to be in there. And they could just talk about the crimes of the president. It's crazy, bro. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Greater, given what this respected judge said. I mean, you know, if the DOJ, you guys know more about public pressure on the Department of Justice. I don't know whether they listen to it or not. My sense is they probably don't, but there will be more of a groundswell.
My sense is they don't rely on pressure. So let's keep doing these fake stories about this fake bullshit in order to not pressurize the people that can't be pressured. You know what I mean?
Saying, wait a minute, this judge said there is a criminal act here. How can you not do anything?
Well, let me get Ellie Honig, our legal analyst, to weigh in. Ellie, what do you think the Attorney General is going to do with this new evidence?
Well, Merrick Garland has said at every occasion that he will make this decision about whether to charge Donald Trump or others completely without regard to politics or public pressure. That said, he's a human being. He sees what's going on out there. He clearly is responding to public pressure. And here we have one more important, powerful voice of public authority saying this looks...
Can you imagine how bad our country would be if they didn't stop that idiot from being on the Supreme Court? Can you imagine this idiot on the Supreme Court? Not that you want to give McConnell a shout out for anything, that douchebag. Jowl neck douchebag. But he did keep that idiot off the court, so big ups
to me
for that
like
one.
a crime. And let's also keep in mind, DOJ has taken significant steps towards John Eastman. They got a search warrant. They searched John Eastman. That's a big step. And John Eastman also was subpoenaed to testify in the...
Yeah, searching the former president's lawyer is a big step. Not in the right direction. Off the cliff, bro.
January 6th committee, what did he do? He took the fifth. So the signs are gathering here. Ultimately, though, this will be Merrick Garland's decision.
It certainly will be. Ellie, well, I have you. We also...
Do you like how he says it? Is that their legal analyst? And can you believe he took the fifth? Like a fifth is, if you take the fifth, then you're guilty. I get that's how most normal people view it. You're supposed to be the legal analyst for CNN. Shouldn't you have preempt that with? Now, just because you plead the fifth doesn't mean that you're showing any sign of guilt. It could just be a fuck you to the court. But no, let's imply that it's because he's guilty, and he's got all the secrets. He's going to be the next one to dish.
Also learned today that Trump was deposed today as part of that defamation lawsuit brought by the former magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll. It is not clear if Trump answered questions, but the fact that this deposition even took place is significant, isn't it?
It is. So the judge in this case will have explicitly called out Donald Trump's delay tactics. He tried to postpone this, and the judge said, enough is enough. You have to answer questions. Second of all, Donald Trump would be, at a deposition, he would be under oath. It is a crime to lie under oath, even in a civil deposition. And third, we should find out, I assume our great reporters will tell us soon, something about what...
So is that the shtick? Is that why everybody and their mama's been trying to sue him? So they can get him under deposition? Try to catch him in a lie, and then they can go after him for lying under a deposition? That shit is crazy, bro. Crazy.
Was said inside that room. Donald Trump may have taken the fifth. It's his right, if he wants to, even in a civil deposition, to take the fifth. If he did, we don't know. That cannot be used against him in a criminal case, but it can be used against him in a civil case like the one E. Jean Carroll has filed. So big step today because Donald Trump, we know, answered questions under oath.
E. Jean Carroll? Oh, is that the the fake victim? The fake victim from a dressing room? Well, where apparently Trump just pushed off his model girlfriends and was like, you know, I just have to have this ugly chick in the coat room. This shit is crazy.
So we'll know a lot more in the next several hours, certainly in the next few days. Guys, thank you very, very much.
You are welcome, Captain Squishy Pants. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by the channel. I appreciate it. McClure's.store. That's where you can pick up American products sold by Americans. It also helps out my family. That's what's hopefully going to keep me home and not have to go back to work. Thanks for stopping by. Take care.